Hi, and welcome to Hoffman's Hot Seat. I'm Tom Hoffman with One-to-One Media, coming to you from the Gartner Customer 360 Summit in Los Angeles. Joining me today is Eric Brethenow, Executive Strategy Director at SPSS, an IBM company. Today we'll be talking about different approaches that marketing and other decision makers can make in terms of applying analytics to social media. Eric, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So, as a starting point, what are some of the trends you're seeing in terms of how marketing leaders and other decision makers are applying analytics to the social media space to learn more about customers?
They're applying that in different ways. There are two main distinctions in how they're doing it today. So one of the distinctions is it's another extra source of data, but it's very unstructured. It's more unstructured than the unstructured data they had to deal with so far. Because on the unstructured data they had to look at before, at least it was call center records or things of that sort, it was unstructured data, but it was coming from a very specific context. Now, the new data comes from very widely different contexts. So in order to identify where it's coming from, when it's being recorded, what does it really mean, is it linked to something else, how does it change over time, is a very different way of looking at the data than it was before. So from that perspective, it's a different kind of data, and it induces different kind of problems, of course. The other part of the problem is that before they were talking to a customer. Now, who is that customer? Who could it be? So is it like the person that's on the weekend is ordering a book for its grandmother for her birthday? Or is it someone, a professional, ordering a book at work, about something specific they are doing? And then even if they have that kind of information, they identify, okay, now it's on the weekend, the guy is a chef on the weekend, he likes to order cooking books, whatever, make recommendations around that. Now, they also have to take into consideration the opinions or the like and dislike of their friends and family. So it broadens also the scope of who they have to talk to in order to understand who that person is, providing they can even identify who that is.
Yeah.
Right? So it provides new kind of complexity. Before a customer calls you, you have their name, you have their phone number, you have something like that. You know who they are and what they want, the kind of product they bought from you. Now they don't anymore.
Right.
It's a clean slate.
Okay, great. So, one of the things that we hear is that with respect to applying analytics to social media, that at least from what we've been gathering, there's quite a bit of structure to some of the data that's found in, say, Facebook or Twitter. But does that pose unique challenges to try to apply analytics to unstructured data in other areas, such as online forums and communities?
It does. Online forum and communities probably have a context already. Facebook, maybe less so. So on the Facebook part of what you're looking for, you may be looking for a conversation about a specific topic, for example, an issue or something like that. In that case, then you frame whatever analysis you have afterwards around that issue that concerns. And you can do that, but you need that piece of information to do that. On the forum, very often, it's a little bit more structured in the form of what are they doing, what are they responding to, right? You can maybe look at that as well. I'm not saying it's easy.
Sure.
It's a complex thing to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's maybe easier to do that. So there's some aspect to that. There's another aspect to what you mentioned, which I think the dimension is very important. It's time. And so far, time has not been as much taken into consideration that it has been before. Meaning that, how does that process has evolved across time? Has that opinion changed? Has the person performing or voicing that opinion has changed their own advice, opinions on something that has done? And what is the event that caused that to change also? So that periodicity is very important in the data as well. And today, I don't think we are well armed in terms of businesses to be able to look at that kind of dimension as well. But to your point, and I do agree definitely on the Facebook part of the equation, you also do have to look at the structure and how the things are being posted, for example, according to a specific context. Nestle recently learned that at their disadvantage. They were discussing on the forum something about ecological issues in the rainforest in Asia. And by not being able to address appropriately the comments that were made at that time, actually they ran into a major PR issue.
Oh.
So it could be very sensitive. You have a lot of people watching and looking and commenting, so you have to be cautious also about the topic and the framework on which you're actually discussing or commenting on some things. Not to mention the legal issues.
Yeah. As you know, there's a lot of talk right now about exploring social media among marketing organizations, but not a great deal of action. And part of it seems to be that some decision makers are a bit overwhelmed by where do we start with this. So when it comes to applying analytics, what would you recommend as some starting points?
it's the same as always. The starting point is, what are you trying to do? What business problem are you solving? Why the telco today have better luck on the social media than others? Because they're trying to reduce churn. They know that. If you want to apply the techniques, the data is important to know, and the shape and the type and everything else to apply the appropriate algorithms or whatever it is. But the business problem you're trying to solve should be the major driver of what you're doing. So if any commercial organization wants to engage in social media, what is the reason? What are they trying to do? Are they looking at loyalty? Are they looking at specific type of customers? Are they launching a new product? Are they looking at their brand reputation, the sentiment about a specific service they are providing, a new product they might be launching? What's the business problem are they trying to solve?
Sure.
That's where you have to start, I think.
Yeah, that's great advice. And thanks for taking this time out with us here. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.